Dan, how do you write lyrics for your songs? Where do the inspiration come from? I'm not one of those people. There's a lot of again bands we're friends with, and they are fantastic at writing really literal songs, straight up. Exactly how it was. I wouldn't call it a sense of like cowardice, but I don't particularly like to divulge everything about my life in a song. I like to hide behind, a few little metaphors and everything. I like to feel like if you guys want to learn something about me or you want to learn something about All Forgotten, then you've really got to sit down and work with the lyrics a little bit, if that doesn't sound too conceited. I hope with some of the new stuff you guys maybe get a better idea about what I'm about. I know John before me was fantastically expressive with his lyrics, so I hope you guys are cool with what I'm doing lyrically, and how I get about to doing those things is, just life experience. I mean, I'm not just one of those guys that just sits and writes about breaking up with a girl, and if I ever have, it's been a lot more than that. So, there we go. Dan, are you vocally trained? If so, for how long? I did a lot of opera stuff when I was young. I was in choirs. I've had singing lessons. I've been singing in bands for years. When I was 14, 15, if anyone knows me from back then, I was the worst singer you'd ever heard in your goddamn life. And I'm still not that much better now. But it's a case of trial and error. When the musicians in your band get better around you, you either step up or you step off. And I just had to get better or get kicked out of the band, which nearly happened on many occasions. Dan, does it fuck you off when people ask about John, like, oh my god, bring John back, because it fucks me off? No, not really. I mean, it's irritating as far as if people don't want to listen to what's going on, then you really don't have to. There's a million absolutely incredible bands out there you should go and give your time to. But to be perfectly honest, if John left, he wasn't kicked out, so John isn't sitting there twiddling his thumbs, waiting to jump back on ship and sitting there all bitter about something. He's getting on with his life. We're getting on with ours. John's an absolutely great guy. Like, I've met him lots of times now, and I'm really glad that he handed over the torch to me, in such a nice way. And you guys got to trust that either John's going to do something by himself soon, or hopefully come back with another band. But if you guys really dig John, then go and grab him on Facebook and say how much you like him. I'm sure he'd love to hear that kind of stuff. How do you think, since joining the band, you've changed the sound of All Forgotten, or brought a new aspect to the band that wasn't there before? Well, I hope I brought a new aspect that wasn't there before. Any vocalist would probably look to do that. I hope my voice sounds different for you guys. Like I said, I know people aren't always going to dig new things. I know people get really agged out about change and then jump on board later when a band's doing really well and say, oh yeah, I like them all along. So let's hope that's not the case with the same people slagging off the new stuff. Yeah, I hope I've changed the sound a little bit. We're different people, I think, than they were before John, left, and before I left Kenai. Everyone changes, and I hope the new aspects of those are evident. If it isn't, then we're not doing our jobs. What's your favourite song and band? Ugh, never ask a musician that. Never ever ask a musician favourite song and band. It changes every week. This week I'm going to go for Dirty Diana by Michael Jackson. That's going to be my favourite song. And band, he didn't need a band. He was incredible, so you're going to have to deal with that. Will AF be getting any new merch soon, and will it be on Big Cartel? You betcha. New designs, new stuff on the way. Keep your ears to the floor, it'll be coming. If I came up to you and asked for a cigarette, would you give me one? Probably, because I shouldn't have cigarettes on me, because I've been telling everyone that I've quit. No, not if you're underage, you bad person. Smoking's bad for you. And if you're a singer and you smoke, then you're an idiot like me. What's the one thing that will make you sit down and say, this band has made it? Maybe if I can walk into somewhere and go, do you know who I am? And they go, no. And I go, well, okay, that's fine. I've got loads of money from being in a band. Maybe that's when I'll know that I've made it. I don't know. When someone comes up to me and goes, this is the best album that I've heard all year, and it isn't just, It isn't just someone trying to chat up a band member. I think just one person for me can make me feel like I've made it. I remember I promised some friends of mine, if I ever got to play a big festival in the UK, then if it all ended tomorrow, I'd be happy. It's funny how the goalposts change. You know, now I want to do even more than I've done, and so do the boys in All Forgotten. So I don't think you're ever going to set, and I think there's always a next goal. You've only got to look at some of the bands around us to know that literally the sky's the limit, and I hope it is for AF. So the day we make it is the day we probably won't realise it. Whatever happened to the songs that you guys wrote for the album when John was still in the band? Has it been scrapped, rewritten with Dan's lyrics, or unchanged? Okay, stuff when they were writing for the album as such. I don't think it was really. There's not really an album's worth of material between the change. There was a lot going on in the band, a lot of kind of thoughts about where they were going to and what was going to happen. So there's little bits and pieces that we took that they had been doing for demos. They didn't have any vocals on it. The only song that I rewrote of John's was Dead Weight, and yeah, I mean, I think I did the best I could with that. John's got a very different range to me, and the band lent to John's style a lot more when John was in the band, and now obviously they're trying to do that with me. I think you kind of play to your singer's strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, I mean, there are some stuff, little tiny snippets, but what you'll be hearing from us really now, from now on, any songs you hear are brand new stuff. I mean, Deadweight was really the only thing that was left. Will you guys release any acoustic tracks? If so, could you include the chords? Hell yeah. Yeah, we want to do loads of acoustic stuff. It'll be the kind of stuff that you hear us putting out on tour. So we've got one in December and one in February as it stands, plus loads more coming soon. You'll hear acoustic stuff coming out for us left, right and centre. Some remixes. Hopefully I want to try and do some like a cappella kind of harmony stuff. You know, really have some fun, like Bon Iver style. That would be really sick. So hopefully, yeah, soon. What was your first experience with music? My first experience with music? God, that's an odd thing to say. I think probably the first time I can remember liking a band must have been like my mum's like cassette records and my dad's vinyl, like Ace of Base and just old 60s vinyl and stuff. I think I was just more interested with music as a format, like technology wise, like just looking at cassettes and things. I mean, I remember when I was really young teenager with like mini discs and things like that. I think I've bought into nearly every single format that's been available to kind of my generation. But no, I think my first experience was with 80s music, kind of electronica and stuff. And I'm not too proud to admit, like, I got into rock music with some really what a lot of people would consider lame bands, but I don't care, like Limp Bizkit and Korn and everything. And I think if you really actually ask deep down, a lot of musicians around, they'll say they listen to a lot of stuff, like Counting Crows and really kind of grounds up music. But a lot of the band members that around would have got into the same kind of music through mainstream bands, Eminem, things like that. It does. That's what really brings you on. But no, my first experience was probably 80s music. Okay, last question. What song do you wish you had written? I wish I had written. Probably, I wish I had written all of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club. I don't know. Probably a Michael Jackson song. Again, I probably wish I'd have wrote Dirty Diana or Beat It or Thriller. I mean, like, how can you argue with that kind of excellence? How can you argue with that kind of performance? Okay, so I've answered all your questions. Thank you so much, guys, for writing out all those questions for me. I hope I've done a decent enough job of answering most of them. If you guys could get all your friends to add up All Forgotten's page on Facebook, or just go check us out on MySpace, that would be absolutely great. I'm going to see if we can get some of the boys to do a few more Q&As, especially Veli, so all the drummers out there can ask him all the drum-related questions. And yeah, thanks for writing out those questions again and listening to me waffle on for a good 20 minutes now. So you guys have a wicked night, and I've been Dan from All Forgotten, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.